Welcome to Build AI Tools. I've been playing with the Gemini API a lot recently, and I want to show you something that I built with it that I think is pretty interesting. So a lot of times we use these new AI models through a chat interface like ChatGPT, but if you change the interface that you're using, you can actually get much better results. So the problem with just using a chatbot like ChatGPT for advice is that you need to manually put in all the information about yourself. You need to upload your resume. You need to tell it to ask you questions. The responsibility is on you to give the model all the information it needs to do a good job. It's not just going to say, hey, I'm about to give you some generic career advice, so why don't you give me some more relevant info? It's up to you to do that. And most people don't know that you really need to kind of curate some really good data for it to be really effective. So if you try just using ChatGPT and asking it, give me some career advice, this is my job, this is the job that I want to have, it's probably going to give you some pretty generic advice. It might be good, but hopefully this will be a little bit better. Let's jump into the tool. So here is the AI career coach that I've built using Gemini's Flash 2.0 model currently. So first it starts with asking me what's my motivation for seeing a career coach. I want to transition from software engineering into machine learning. And then it tells me to upload a resume. So I have my resume here in an anonymized form. It's uploading and analyzing it now. And one thing I like about the Gemini Flash model is that it gives you a pretty good result. It's not the best, but it's very fast and it's very low cost also, which is why I've been able to make this tool available for free. Charting your course to machine learning mastery. So here's kind of an intro to the analysis of my resume and my motivation. And then it follows up with some questions. And these questions are tailored specifically for my experiences to get more information before it actually gives you the advice. What aspects are you most passionate about? And what kind of role are you envisioning for yourself in this field? I would like to get into research and building models because I think that's super interesting and I really don't know how it works right now beyond at a high level. Do you see yourself using machine learning in a leadership position, or are you willing to start in an entry-level position to get your foot in the door? Entry level is fine. I just want to be doing interesting work, so I don't just want to be cleaning data all day. Are you looking for a machine learning role focused on similar tasks? Tell me more about your dream ML job and how it uses your past expertise. I don't really need to use that experience, but I just want to be building cool things. So I'm not interested just in the model, but in the whole system around the model as well, and the applications that you can build with it. And so here, this email was pulled from my resume automatically. So you can change it if you need to, but I'm just going to leave it as is. So I'm going to hit generate report. This is also going to send a copy of the report to your email. And here it is. I think that was pretty fast. So it gives me some high-level overview of my strengths and opportunities. And then it tells me about the gap between where I currently am and where I've talked about wanting to be. So it's telling me I need to learn some machine learning fundamentals, probably with Fast AI's deep learning for coders. I think that's a good recommendation. Refine your resume, highlight ML skills, create a portfolio project. I think this is good advice. Focus your job search, long-term vision, and then at the end it gives you prioritize next steps, which I think is probably the most important part of it. Enroll in Fast AI's practical deep learning for coders. That's interesting because I'm actually working my way through that now, so it's very relevant. Refine your resume, start networking. Some of it is pretty generic advice, but the first one is actually highly relevant for me. You can go and try this now for yourself and see what you get. If you do, please submit some feedback as well so I can make it work better. So the key idea here is to build up as much context as you can before asking the model for its final output. That way you're going to get a higher quality output. It's nothing groundbreaking, but I think it demonstrates the workflow of building up context for the model iteratively. And context is just any information that's going to help it do its job. So in this case, it's the resume, it's the questions and my answers to the questions, and it's also the prompts. Let me show you the prompts. So I know it's a lot of text on screen, but I'll leave it in the comments as well. And this is the first prompt to analyze the resume. It uses some XML tags to structure the inputs, and then it also just gives it some directions about asking questions to make it a little bit more personalized. So you can try using this and filling in the variables yourself into ChatGPT or some other tool and see what it comes up with. And in this question generation prompt, you can notice that I have XML tags to structure the output. And then in my API, I'm actually pulling the contents of those XML tags out to then render the 3 questions on the page as you saw them. And here, once we have those questions and answers, it goes into this prompt to generate the actual career report. I am using XML tags to structure the input, but the output is a little bit more free form using Markdown. Markdown is a text format that a lot of coders use because it's very easy to write. And it basically just generates some simple HTML. So here I really tell it more how I want it to work through the resume. Think about experiences you have that are actually going to be useful. Think about the gaps, and then think about next steps and what you need to do to actually get past that gap. So the difference between using prompts with a lot of personalized context and just using some very quick kind of question is basically the difference between asking a stranger on the street to give you some life advice or asking somebody who knows you really well, has known you for all your life, for some life advice. They're going to be very different. And the one that's more personalized is going to be based on all the context about who you are and what you're into. And it's going to be that much more useful. So try the tool out at coach.buildai.tools. I'll put the link in the description. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time.